I've been a Minecraft server owner for 5 years now, since I was only 14, running various skyblock and faction servers with my current and most successful server being Mineage OG factions. And it's safe to say that I've learned a lot over the years, but today I've gathered the 5 main non-technical lessons I've learned from running servers, and I'll be breaking them down in this video because I believe that without these 5 main lessons, it's impossible to build a successful, long-lasting Minecraft server. I mean, some of the biggest Minecraft servers to this day, like Hypixel, use all of these strategies. Players want to have fun, and most of the time having fun means winning. Whether we're talking factions or skyblock where you're competing for a leaderboard like becoming the richest faction or competing in Baltop, or even if we're using a mini game like Skywars or Bedwars for example, most players are more than willing to hack and cheat and basically use any means necessary to guarantee their win. And this is a huge problem within the Minecraft community because there's so many cheaters, and if a server doesn't stay on top of the cheating problem, it's just gonna get out of control. It also extends beyond cheating too, where players will just do anything in their power to get the upper hand on their competitors. I think that it's super important to keep this in mind because without a proper system to deal with hackers and to ensure that all of the server rules are forced, it's not going to be an equal playing field, and it's not going to be about skill anymore. And the reality of the situation is that as hacked clients keep getting better, the servers are going to have to keep adapting. And this is a reality that I've come to face with my faction server, and that we're constantly going to be having to crack down on players and make sure that it is a clean environment. Number 2 is to know your audience. You really want to know the demographics of the players that are on your server and that are spending the most time on it. My faction server is tailored mostly towards young adults and people who are fully grown up now that grew up playing factions when they were younger. Most of the people that play my server have full-time jobs or they're in school, and so they can't dedicate as much time to the game as they used to. For these people, it's incredibly easy for their base to just get raided when they're at work, and then they log on to literally nothing left and just quit the game. It's important to really find a healthy balance on your server that tailors to exactly who's going to be playing it. So on my faction server, what we're doing is adding some measures in place so that people can go about their lives, they can go to work and school without constantly worrying about getting raided while they're offline. More players equals more fun. This is just a known rule for all servers. The more players a server has, generally the more fun that server's gonna be. I remember when I first downloaded Minecraft when I was like 8 years old, I played survival for maybe a week, and then I got bored because I was playing by myself. I didn't have anyone else to see what I was building, and I didn't have anyone to play with. Minecraft is much more fun if you're going up against other players, or you're building with them, or you just have some sort of interaction with other people besides just going off on your own. I've seen this on Mineage time and time again, where you'll see a big faction or two quit the server, and the numbers just plummet. There needs to be at least some sort of competition going on, or players feel like it's just not even worth their time to put into the server and trying to win, because, I mean, what are you really winning at that point if nobody else is even playing? It's like if you were to go on Hypixel and play a game of Bedwars, but everyone else is just AFK on their islands. You're not gonna feel too good when you go and kill a bunch of AFKs. Like, it's just not rewarding. Players don't always know what they want. They think they've got all the bright ideas that can change the server and make it a perfect experience, but that's just one perspective. I've seen this time and time again on my faction server where players make suggestions and we put it up to a vote and they'll vote the thing in, for example, bow boosting most recently, and then they realize that they just didn't want that at all to begin with. Although I think it's crucial to tailor towards exactly what your community wants and hear all the feedback, players don't have the same perspective that administrators and developers of the server have. They don't have the knowledge or understanding of all the complexities that go on behind the scenes when it comes to adding in new features and perfectly balancing them. One thing I really have been struggling with on my server though is kind of just communicating with players exactly where I'm at and why certain ideas could or could not work. Because if I don't say anything, players just think that I'm kind of ignoring their advice, and no one wants to feel like that. Trust is everything. If you really want to build a Minecraft server that lasts through the ages, you need to build a powerful brand that can be recognized by players, that can be trusted and understood. And one of the best ways to earn trust as a Minecraft server is to just consistently operate, putting out good seasons, putting out good game modes, and providing the best experience that they possibly can at all times for their players. This was something that a lot of my servers back in the day lacked because I would open a season and then close for a few weeks and get some player feedback and open another one, and it just really lacked that consistency that players were expecting. One thing that's really tricky to get right with trust, especially in factions, is that when you reset the server, players are going to be upset if they've been working on builds, if they've been spending a lot of time on the server just for their progress to be lost. So for trust to be established in this sense, it's very important to communicate with your players and establish exactly exactly what the expectations should be, how long the season can be open, so that nobody is building a giant base the day before reset. But there are so many different factors that go into having a server that is actually trusted by players. Like keeping the server clean from hackers, showing that the owner actually cares about the server and it's not just a money grab, and even having a mission statement, something that the server is moving towards that players can follow along with. Next week, I'll be documenting the entire process that goes into preparing for a new season of factions.